Just fine with the microphone, I hope so. I really appreciate you going ahead and starting and coming in to joining me today. Apparently, I'm unable to use my studio on my computer because apparently I can't use that until I get 500. YouTube won't let me use the studio, so I'm just going to be using my phone live. I hope you guys can see everything perfectly on my mat. Give me one moment to finish setting it up. Go ahead and get ready with your mat and hydration and get on the floor. I appreciate you guys joining me today. We're going to be doing meditation, stretching, body movement, and all those wonderful things. Let's get started. Hope you brought your lacrosse ball, and we'll work on this a little bit later. All right. Make sure you have no encumbrances. Stand straight up on your mat. We're going to start right here. Breathe in through your nose, out your nose. Let's go ahead and make sure that this is leveled. There we go. Please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you coming in. Spread your feet apart just a little bit. Breathe in, rise your arms. Breathing in, breathing out. Keeping your arms up. Now we're going to bring our elbows down. I'm not going to go into any words that are too, QiGong-y or anything like that. Just follow my patterns. Flow. Just doing some movements, bending the knees, movements. Make sure you are breathing. If you hear me breathing, good. If you can hear yourself breathing, good. What I'm doing here is moving my shoulder blades back all the way. Release. And flow. Each time. A lot of people have issues with their rhomboids, with their scapulas. They don't move correctly. They don't extend correctly. Don't tract correctly. In QiGong, body movement is key. When we clap, we go down. When we release our clap, we come back up. Nice and easy. Don't stiffen. Make sure you are loose and breathing. If you're not breathing good enough, you're going to excessively tire. Release your arms. Good little warm up. Now we're going to do some squat warm ups. QiGong style. Everything is QiGong style. So going down. Everything we're going to do first is for our joints and our muscles to warm up. Simple things. Don't have to squat so low. This is far enough. Everything I do is going to have multiple amounts each time, so that way you can get into my rhythm, get into your rhythm. You don't have to follow to the T. Just do the movements and breathe through it. Good, relaxing, straightening up onto your toes, coming back down. Now, doing a few toe rises is good, but make sure we follow into our toe rises. Try not to let our body weight throw us forward. Just lift and breathe. Now, if you notice I'm going up on my toes and I'm going onto my heels, lifting myself off the balls of my feet and then back to the balls of my feet, staying balanced. Don't think too hard on it, you will fumble. Good. Rise up, let's get those hips. It's just a walking pattern. Do not stop. Lightly touch, graze the heel to the floor, and breathe. Good. We're starting with joint mobilization. Start swinging those arms back and forth. Now we're working on shoulders. Go up and nice and easy, marching in place. We're going to do standing or sitting meditation. It's up to you. I'm going to do standing. Now that we got some movement going, we just want to nice and easy movements of the hands and fingers. And then we want to lower and lower. Easily, don't over pull those joints. Just relax them into them. Make sure your wrists are bending properly as well. There are several ways to breathe through the QiGong class. First is the normal way, which is in through the nose 4 seconds, out the nose 4 seconds. There will be times when our nose will get stuffy for the position that we're in. And this is where we want to gasp in through to give ourselves a good amount of breath into our lungs. And exit the same way. Breathe in. We're not coring deeply, we are just coring lightly. And make sure your shoulders are relaxing. Make sure our elbows are relaxing. Make sure our arms are relaxing. Make sure we are balanced on the balls of our feet onto the heels of our feet. Legs and body is completely perpendicular to the world, gravitizing into the earth. Breathing and focusing on your inner self. Spend this moment in meditation, breathing. Make sure our bodies are upright. Make sure we are not slouching. Make sure that our bodies are upright and our spines are where they're supposed to be. And let me give you a few pointers on that. Make sure your eyes are open through the directions that I give. Do not close your eyes at all throughout this session unless through deep meditation, and only then. Okay? That way you can have silence in your mind. All right? Whenever you do exercises, you always leave your eyes open. Always. We're going to go into Namaste. And how to do that is that we clap in like a seal. We bring our arms up only by keeping our elbows into our sides. Clap into as a seal and come up. And let the bridge of our thumbs, touch the sternum. Relaxing those fingers and let them slightly spread. If you are closing your fingers, that means you are forcing them closed. Just let them spread. Let them happen naturally. In QiGong today, it's all about not using your muscles when you don't need to use your muscles while using your muscles. Relaxing your muscles while using your muscles and relaxing them again. Going into work mode and out of work mode means you need to learn to stop using your muscles. Relaxing them in the proper posture and the proper embodiment of yourself. Release by breathing in. And bring your arms back down, opening up the palms, pushing the energies down the gut, down the chakras, down the body, down into the earth and grounding yourself. And spread wide. Spread wide. Reaching your arms up and letting it retouch through the vegetation. Opening up your body. Opening up your body and let your elbows go towards the rear and spanning out, keeping your fingers barely touching. The fingers are barely touching. Slightly back bend, and when you slightly back bend, your hips need to go forward because your shoulders need to stay with your heels. Your shoulders need to stay with your heels. Let your head stay level and relaxed on your shoulders. Don't let it go back too far. Don't let it go up further. It needs to stay with you. So if you see me here and you see my head, go with me and do a slight back bend. And rise up in that back bend with your elbows just a little bit, keeping those fingers touched. What this does is it helps expand the ribs, and expand the chest, expand the interiors, expand everything. We need to expand all of your muscles here, right there in your ribs, because people do not expand enough. Relaxing your hips into yourself. Don't let it shake. Don't let it tense. Keep your head relaxed and let your arms go down in that breath out. Breathe in, then let it go down. Palms out. Palms out, palms out, slowly coming down. Bicep curl, palms up, and sigh. Come back into a clasp. Nice and easy move, and back into Namaste. And breathe, relaxing and breath. Remember, we just stiffened ourselves. We probably just realized it. We want to move our embodiment. Stay nice, slow. Do not jerk any movements. QiGong is not about jerking the movements left and right. So let's go ahead and do some neck movements. So that way we can get our cervical feeling great and mobilized. A lot of people are always stiff here. I haven't really met anyone in my massage therapy clinics, very rare where they got nothing wrong with their necks. You know, no tension, no buildup over the years. Keeping our hands at the namaste, that acts as our guidance to neck movement. Keeping our fingers pointed to the celestial bodies, giving us the amount of celestial energies to basically envelope into us, come into our hands and into our embodiment, clasping them in, holding them firmly within us. Breathe in. And I want you to go ahead and use your chin as the pinpoint of movement, while the back of your cervicals between your axis and your axon, basically the cranial of your C1 and your occipitals at the back of that, okay? So we're going to basically start turning from there to a direction. You can go any direction that you choose that benefits you. We're all going to meet at the same place. Make sure your head is basically going into that direction. Like you want to pull it, let it extend, or let it relax and extend, let it relax and extend, going towards the shoulder, towards the reverse of you. We're going to release in the breath and back to center. Make sure we're straight again, then to the other direction. Making sure we're pushing our chin to the farthest point possible to the rear of us. Breathing. Breathe. Make sure your knees are not locking. Make sure the balls of your feet are not, feel like you are rooting into the earth. Do not root into the earth. Ground into the earth. Rooting keeps you immobile, stiffens you. Do not root. Release your neck and your head and go back to center. Now we're going to go into another direction, which is chin up. So breathe in, then breathe out on the chin up. Reach that chin to the sky until you feel everything stretch. Your appendices, stretching your scalenes, stretching. Keep that jaw closed. Let it stretch. Reach that chin to the sky. Make sure our knees and our body is basically feeling great and it's mobile. Our chin is to the sky, and as your chin is to the sky, your head is relaxed up to the sky while your chin is into the sky. Release back to center, and you release right here. Remember that, between your axis and you're releasing here. Not down here, not in any other part of the cervicals. This needs to be right where it needs to be. Good. Now we're going to go down with our chin. So even basically first, as we end our namaste, take your namaste and point it forward like this. Now we're going to go chin to namaste. Same place right here. Same place right here is where we tilt our chin down to the sternum. Go as far as you can. I'm going as far as I can because I'm talking. Now as our chin is there and we are resting there, Make sure your shoulders are light. Make sure your shoulders, you're not stiffening. Your chin is going down. You're just using those muscles only. Not your trap muscles, not your shoulder muscles, not your back muscles. You make sure you're balanced. Make sure you're balanced and you're loosey-goosey. You know what I'm saying? Good. Make sure you're wobbly, you're moving, you're QiGonging. It's okay to do this. Now we want our chin to ride like a train, or just going down the road a little bit, and then go till you. Make sure your shoulders do not go up into your ears through this process. I've seen that many times. So I'm going to start all over, and I'm going to go chin down. Then I'm using this right here now down at C7. This is where I'm going from C1 to C7. C1 on the tilt down, C1 to C7 to C7. Now I'm going all the way down to until further gone. Good. Now right back up. Breathing in. Relaxing, balancing, do not stiffen, you will ache. Now we want to put our namaste back up and be back here. Good. Now let's do that again in unison. Now we want to take our chin, we'll make sure we're upright, we'll make sure we're balanced. Do not do this without being in proper posture at any time. Your first check is breath, posture, breath, movement, breath, posture, breath, movement, like you are breathing. Thank you guys for coming in. I greatly appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and join in on this movement of QiGong. That way you get your body, your movements, your joints, your muscles, your fascia, everything in between to basically relax. Make sure we are relaxing. Put yourself into the namaste. Let's get back into the chin movements. Now, rotate your chin to a direction that you want to go. Now next we're going to take our chin with our mouth closed, breathing through our nose, if you can breathe through your nose. Look that chin up to the sky. No more stretching, just one side. Stretch it and breathe. Make sure everything is relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed while you're stretching your chin up into the sky. Do not use other muscles. Now you can also do this while in sitting position, cross-legged, but I don't mind starting off at standing position, okay? I also don't mind doing this in sitting. It all depends on your feel and how lethargic you feel or how energetic you feel. If you feel energetic this morning, stand on your feet because we're going to be doing movement. We will soon be going to sitting position, but right now, we'll just be right here. Make sure your chin is up there, and then I want you to take this chin, and I want you to ride in a nice movement to the other side. You didn't have to use your finger, I was just showing you. So I'm going to basically show you again, facing you here. My chin is all the way to the left. Now I'm going to ride my chin up, stretching my epiphysis on one side, and then rotating in the back of the cervical to the other side. You notice my head is still straight. It's not way out here. It's still here. My shoulders are relaxed. Then back to center. There we go. Simple movements. Now let's move on to the next cervical stretch. Having our neck, having the ability to move without constraints will actually help your body move without constraints and less stress throughout the day. Just doing these neck movements will be a big outcome on your daily life. Helps me out through my aging process of my creaky bones, and it's going to help you out. If you're young, if you're old, it helps everyone. It's going to get you back to proper posture, get into everything to move correctly. And that way you can feel good about yourself, okay? It's going to open up the pathway for nerves and arteries. It's going to basically get your full amount of range of motion that you need to get done and all that, okay? All right, go ahead and keep commenting and say hello. Let me know if this is working for you. I will go through the comments at a later moment. But go ahead and just put yourself back into this namaste, and we're going to go into our next stretch. Now we're going to have our hands getting into our namaste. Just rise it up and barely touch our fingers to our chin. Just barely touch. And the reason why we want this here is for basically allowing ourselves to keep our chin right there, because if we don't, especially for newbies doing this, they start doing this. So our chin left the vicinity, and we don't want that right now, okay? We want to turn here at the axis, at the axiom, okay? We want it to turn here, okay? Good, all right? Breathe always first. Get into your first breath, get into your second breath, and we're gonna tilt. Keeping your chin there and just tilt. There we go. Now we want to keep one hand here and we want to drop the arm, the side the head is tilting in, rise that arm up, and you can see I'm keeping my entire body stationary and relaxed. Now I want to put my fingers, one finger kind of behind the ear, the others on that. So we're going to basically have our fingers gripping in there like we're going to grip for our dear lives, really. Okay, and you see how I'm at my tilt. And I'm going to put my hands here, and then I'm going to just let my elbow drop, giving it a stretch here at the axis and axiom, right up here, and that's what we want. Making sure our chin is centered. We're not putting too much weight, just enough to feel like it's giving a good light or medium stretch. I'm used to this, and it's a deep stretch for me. Now, as I release, how to release, breathe in, let the fingers lightly untouch and just let your head come back. We never want to whiplash. We never want to move at an extreme fast pace, or we're going to just basically cause turmoil within ourselves. Okay, now for the next one, okay? Tilt the other direction. And if you need to, I got a little kink going on right here, and so this actually will help a lot of this out. Don't do what I do. Do what I do. All right, have that kink going on. Making sure you're straightening up. Let's go back into position and tilt. We've got to make sure that we do it right. If you don't do it right the first time, we reset. Come back and reset. Do your tilt. Come back over. Breathing without hitting the trees and making sure your head is proper before you put the pressure on your head and grip between, remember, one finger, your four fingers behind the ear. The rest are in the front of the ear. And your chin is centered with the sternum and the center of your body. And your hand here is to make sure that your chin is there and not over there. And I'm just letting my arm just gravitize down, nice and easy. If you really want to get into it, really grip into your hand and just let the arm gravitize. It really does a pull. Mine is stopped at its fullest because you can see how far I'm going. That's great. We want to get to that. And release, by releasing, you breathe, release your fingers first. And then let your head come up nice and easy. We don't want to let it come out at a fast pace or it's going to cause problems. Do some shoulder rolls and breathe. All right, good. Turn your head to the left, centered, and then to the right, and back centered to the left. Just stay where you are to the left. Rise that chin up. Oh, don't you know we have to do this 3 to 5 times? And the reason, because one is never enough. Now I want you to flow like I'm flowing here. And just do that rotation, going from left to right, center, back into right. I'm going to left, center, left, and right, center, right, centering to the left, back to center. Let the shoulders, don't worry, you can continue to do another one. Remember, all my movements will have multiple times, so you finish your movement and then go into the movement that is next. Don't just say, oh my gosh, gotta get into the next move. Flow, just flow. I want to thank you all for coming in. We're going to go ahead and continue moving. Now we got the cervical moved, that's great, and stretched. That's great. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and do some hip work. Okay. So now we're going to go down the embodiment a little bit. Let's work on hip and back. All right. All right. Let's spread those feet apart on your mat. Before we start, let's hydrate. So good. Thank you. All right, make sure you have your hydration, as it's stated in the description, because we're going to need that, because we're going to be doing a lot of breath work, and make sure our breath work consists of not dehydrating. So I'm going to give you a few pointers of what not to do in breath work, so that way you're like right on par with what I'm trying to do. Never breathe through your mouth like this. Let me get up closer, that way you can see. Or don't do any type of breath like that, okay, at all, ever. You're not blowing dust off something. You're not doing any of that, all right? You are needing to actually get the proper amount of oxygen into your body. People see that as confusing, when this is confusing. Is the wrong breath to take. Causes constriction, causes inflammation, causes problems, causes problems, causes problems. mainly dehydration. Gasp in, gasp out, sigh in, sigh out, but never blow in and blow out. Never blow in, never blow out a breath. Unless you need to like blow a spider away or a mosquito, you know what I'm saying, or a bee that's coming at you. That's different. All right, you never expect a bee to go away when you go, it's not going to happen. You need to go, and that bee will disperse. It will just, you know, disperse on its own. They do not like the smell of humans. They like the smell of sweetness, like pollinations and honeys and sugars. All right, let's go ahead and put our hands on our hips. So first thing we're gonna do is make sure we have our hands together like this, and then spread them out, and then put them right here. You know, right where, not above your iliacal crest, but pretty much on the side of the top of your iliacal crest, okay? The top of the hip bone, so it's basically straighten, and then boom. Now, if you notice about my arms, 90-degree angle. That's where you want it, all right? If you're unable to achieve that, you need to stretch more. And that's what we're here for. All right, it takes time, it really does. We're gonna do a forward fold first because I need to open up my hips. So make sure your feet are properly spaced apart. Basically, you know, for that to happen, to know what that is, you put one foot down, you balance on your one foot, you bring your heel into your arch, front of your ankle, all right? And then you wanna open that up and place your heel down with your foot straight, then angle it out. And then just make sure that your other foot is basically even with that. That's how far spaced you know. Your heels are now spaced with your shoulders. All right, let's try that again. All right, put your heel into your arch, not force it, just next to it, right? You know, right next to it. Then open it up to where your foot is now forward, and then bring your foot out, and boom, you are now where you're supposed to be. That's so simple. Like, what about me? I got tiny feet. Don't worry, you know, just make sure you adjust accordingly, all right? Like, look with me, I got big feet. They're like 3 feet long. And I'm like, yeah, do what you can. Do what you can. All right, so, but it actually goes out to where your heels, if you want to know, needs to be leveled with your shoulders, all right? So we're going to go ahead and just make sure our knees are nice and wobble, you know, like, you know, good amount of not stiff, all right? We don't want stiff knees because that can basically cause problems because you're now stiffening and pinching the arteries and nerves in there, okay? Let's do our forward fold, our hands on our hips, breath in, and forward fold. So you can also put your heels here, you know, the heel of your palms right there, and forward fold into that, and just go as far as you can. Now, when you forward fold, do not allow your head to do this. Don't do that. You're causing problems in your cervicals. It's not meant for that. Also, next, do not do this. That is not a forward fold, all right? All right? You know, now I'm bending everything. All right, we don't want that, all right? So forward fold is where your head stays with your shoulders. Now, in this, I want to let you guys know in this very beginning, our head stays with our shoulders at all times. Even if I'm way down here, my head is light, it is balanced, I'm not holding it up, I'm not using my traps to hold my head on, you know, it's just there, it's nice and loosey-goosey because it just does that because our bodies allow that. All right, now we're gonna make sure that we have a full, we're not gonna be arched, we cannot, no cat-cowing, whatever, you know, whatever it is, just gotta make sure it's perfectly straight. So wherever you are here, you're coming straight down to here. Good, until you stop. If you go further, that's great, but this is my limit until I stretch more. All right. So now I'm here and I got my hands on my hips just a little bit. And what's that's doing, we're just keeping it light right here. We're not forcing them back or anything. We're just got them here. It's just all about staying steady, all right? It's all about staying steady, okay? Now I'm gonna make sure, right now I feel like I'm on my heels. Do you feel like you're on your heels? If you are, aim that way a little bit. until you are now balanced between the balls of your feet and your heels. Now, this is where you're supposed to get on your forward fold. So when you start on your forward fold, you're too much on your heels, you are too much on your heels. And then make sure you lower. Now I'm going to go that way a little bit more. Now I'm going to go off my heels just a little bit, like I'm skimming, you know, like you are dancing. You know, when you're dancing, you're skimming on your heels, you're not really on them, and you're on the balls of your feet most. Now, as I'm here, I'm going to do what I can is make sure your knees are not too stuck. All right, you see I'm still a little bouncy, and I'm going to keep going down. Make sure your knees are not stuck, and make sure you're on the balls of your feet more, and let yourself fall more. Now, it's going to open all of this up right in here, stretching your hamstrings, stretching the tendons behind your knees, stretching and opening up the glutes right here in the ischiums. All right? Try not to let your shoulders drop. You keep them back a little bit, but not too far. You see where I'm at? I'm not here. I am here. Keeping my head balanced and holding and falling and holding and falling and breathing and breathing and breathing and rise. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Out of that forward fold. Out of that forward fold. And let's go ahead and get blood flowing again. Get those knees going again. Make sure your feet are not, well, we're going to be feeling nerves basically pulling. Yes, and we have to. We must. Easily, soothingly, as much as possible. Don't overexert. Never overexert, especially for your first time. Just take it easy until you get used to it. Let's do a little bit of ankle rotation. Staying. Going to come over here and do a little ankle rotation. If you are feeling something in your exercise, you immediately start working on it. You know, felt the ankle stiffening, so I'm lightening those up. Good, good. You feel your shoulders stiffening, lighten those up, get back into balance. Breathe, make sure your heels and your feet are exactly where you are again. Forward fold. Now, when you get all used to this, you'll be able to put yourself in position and get right to it into body movement and self-healing, because you know you're going to do it. This will not take this long if you're doing it yourself and you know what you're doing. You know, right now I'm only 3% into the body movement. I got ants all over my okay. All right. It's like, hey, look at this. I smell rubber from my mat. There we go. I'm just going to hold that forward fold in and just going to let my arms glide down my thighs, down past my knees, down to my toes, and just let them drop and drop and drop and rise. Breathe and rise. Good. We have that first forward fold out of the way. Get back into proper posture. Do not get into a slouch. Get back into proper posture. All right. Make sure you have that proper, if you're right here, make sure you readjust your hips. If you are not, the hips have to be that way. So if your hips are not forward, you are not straight. All right. Because once you put your hip, you see where I'm at right here? I am not forward. Now I'm forward. You know what I'm talking about. So right here, you don't want to be there. You want to be here. Now your whole spine is proper with your head balanced on your body without ever feeling like it is heavy. All right, good. And if you want your neck to be straight, if you want your body to be postured, you have to basically force your way there, put yourself there, and stay there by always thinking about it. All right, you just want that, okay? Good, good, good. Now we're gonna go into doing some leg work, and so I'm gonna bring one leg in just a little bit and balance myself on one leg. So it's all about balancing between the left and the right, all right? Every time you do something, so you balance yourself, make sure you're breathing, and you just step forward and turn that heel inward, all right? Good, because that's balancing and that's balancing, all right? So you gotta make sure that you feel that you are able to balance between left and right easily, all right, without tumbling, okay? Now I'm gonna be doing that forward fold again, and this time it's going to flex the right leg more. Make sure you already know how to do your breath. Make sure you already know how to do your movements with your breath. And breathe and forward fold. If you need more weight, that's what your arms are doing. They're coming down. And let's go ahead and go down and span and breathe and span. Now, when you're stretching one thing, move the others. Why are you trying to just operate one muscle at a time? And swan. It's basically a dive. We're just diving. Now, if you know, I am basically on the balls of my feet, on my heel as well, balanced between the balls of my heel on this leg, and my hips are down. And I'm also balanced between right leg and left leg. Balls of my feet and my heel are balanced, balanced, balanced. I am balanced. All right, do not put more on the right, do not put more on the left. All right, for folding back into it for you guys, just stay where you are and let this all stretch and move. Now, the next process after you do a nice good stretch, I know, little tiny Annies. And, oh, where was I at? I got distracted. Oh, what we want to do is bend this knee, all right, the one that's up front. If you're using left or right leg, doesn't matter which one you're doing first, it's up to you. But we want to basically, right now, this is straight and our body's forward folding. We are balanced between left and right, between ball and heel are all balanced, and our hips are going that way. Our glutes and your hips are going that way. You are balancing that way, and your upper body is going that way. All right, we're going to breathe in. Let that knee bend to where this shin, you remember, you keep your hip here, bend that knee. You see how it just makes that move? It's now opening up. Now we want to keep this straight, perpendicular. All right, we want this perpendicular. Don't go like that. All right, don't go too far. We're not doing that right now. In our first bend, we just bend to here. Now we're able to go further down. We want to aim our shoulder down. All right, but we're going to keep our back and our shoulder straight. Don't do this. All right, let me go shoulder. I'm going to come back into this position. Stay where you are. I'm going to bend that knee and I'm going to go down further. Do not do this. Don't do that. That's twisting the spine. That's kinking the shoulder and the neck incorrectly. We come down straight into that forward fold, down into the thigh. If you can go further, that's great. All this is about getting internal stretches. Internal stretches. Breathing, as I have taught you. If you're just now joining, the breath in is 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. In through the nose, out the nose. Now, when you're in this downward position, human evolution does its thing. Our nose becomes clogged so we don't drown. Now my nose is pretty much clogged because of the position I'm in. Make sure this is the other breath I taught you, the gasping. Gasp in, gasp out, and fall. Gasp in, gasp out, and fall further down. Good. Now, we have been in this position for a good moment. Good, because we want to. We do not, stretches should last a minute, right? But we don't have that time, right? So we want to do at least 30 seconds. Just kidding, do as long as you can. And now we want to do is, now that we're falling into our leg, we want to straighten this leg while we're falling into it. But to do that, before you straighten, put your arm here. You got it? Put your hand either here or right here. I suggest just cupping the side of your knee and let the inside of your elbow cup the other side of your knee, just like that, nice and easy. No need to hold on to it directly, nice and easy. And this provides stabilization. Make sure you're falling into yourself and straighten. And when you straighten, I'm going to show you. I'm going to get back up. You stay where you are. That way you can see the movements. I'm going to go back down, bend my knee, steady, and straighten. And if you watch my glute, it will basically feel like it's going in that direction, but because you're making sure that you are left and right are staying balanced the whole time. Rise, bend that knee, lower, straighten. Rise your body out of the forward fold in a little bit, bend that knee, and fall into that knee with your body straight. You are balanced between left and right, and straighten. Make sure you got the breaths going. Rise, never unstretch in a stretch. Rise out of a stretch and then get back into the stretch and then stretch. Rise out of that tight spot, go back into it. It's kind of like taking a bolt off of the screw to readjust the two boards and then retighten. That's basically the concept. You are straightening, you are rising out of that straighten, you are redoing it, redoing. Now I want you guys to go to breath, and I want you to rise, relaxing, nice and easy, back to posture. Move one leg back, make sure you're balanced, make sure you stay where you are. Now we stick out our other leg, boom. See how easy that is? That's pretty much what we gotta do. Make sure our feet are pointing, Turn those hips forward a tad bit, don't force them. You know, don't do it here, do it here. Okay, but don't do it there either, and just make sure, you're loose, you're relaxed, you're loose and you're relaxed. You breathe and forward, fold. Head is balanced, head is on the shoulders, your back as straight as possible. If you don't think you are, do this. You saw how up I got? And then you use this part to fall down, not that part. Don't fall down in your upper body. You fall down on your lower body. Your upper body acts as a weight, a counter, a weight, a counter. All right? Everything is straightening here. Everything is pulling here. Everything is pulling here. If you want to get out of having runner's knee, if you want to get out of having leg pain, if you want to get away from having what's that called? Restless leg syndrome. Those three things are nearly pretty much, depending on what the problem and the issues, if you don't have anything like internal damage, under patellas or anything like that causes strain like me, you can get out of most predicaments doing these stretches behind the legs. A lot of the problems that the strain of your tendons from your gastrocs and your soleus, your hammies, your abductors, your T-band, your tibials are straining every single day, and you're doing nothing about it. And all I'm doing here is taking out that strain. All of this takes out all of that strain from ankle to knee, knee to hip, hip to upper back. All right, now we rise. Bend that knee, lower. All right, now I can really feel my sciatics in this. It also works by opening and expanding out the sciatics. All right, it opens up. So I'm gonna show you my beautiful glutes. That's right. I am here. I am forward folding with straight legs. Make sure you're balanced. Falling forward, keeping my arms further up, more pressure, more weight in my upper body. I'm gonna rise up, bend that knee first. Secondly, after rising, do not go into a bend and then try to bend that knee. Don't do that, all right? Rise, loosen those muscles, flow that knee forward, keeping that shin straight with the earth. That is your podium. That is your, sturdiness. And then, my toes are loose. Do not pinch your toes. Do not curl them in. You're not even using your toes. You're using the balls of your feet and the heel. The balls of your feet and the heel. The toes are loose. The foot is loose. And I'm going to basically make sure I'm just holding. Stay in position for a moment. This is basically not a fast, quick stretching technique, because you never, ever want to go fast. Ever. Had to get rid of that ant. he was going to contact his people. And I smell like ant juice now. They're going to come at me and attack me. Now I want you to breathe and straighten that leg. I'm just showing you this position. Now I feel like I'm too busy curving there, so always adjust out of it and go back into that stretch. Now remember, my hand is here and my hand is on my knee. Let me show you again. I'm going to rise out, stay where you are, and keep up with that movement. I'm going to come back over here, facing you guys. I'm going to do my forward fold, opening and expanding. I'm going to bend that knee and come down further. Now I'm going to put my hands here for bracing. Hands here for bracing or bracing. It depends on how you need to brace. You don't hold tightly, you just have it here, nice and lightly. It's all about steadiness. And now straighten that knee. Release by opening. You see how when I opened, it's pretty much where these are. I just did that. My hands never moved. I straighten, come back down, and pull. If you ever have problems where you can't even get to your feet, your toes, you know, and you're like, I can never touch my toes when I bend. Well, guess what? If you did this for 30 minutes, you will be able to touch your toes. You want to know why? The problem is behind the thighs, the glutes, and all that. Give me one moment. All right, let's go ahead and I want to come back into position for you guys. Take your nice breath, and I want you to breathe and rise with a nice span. Step back and come into your position. Yes, great. Now that we did a bit of leg work, let's go ahead and have a sit, because that takes a lot of work. All right, if you're not sitting yet and you're standing and you're following through, that's great. So let's go ahead and get down. Boom, onto our tush. And now we want to get our feet to touch. All right. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at our knees and how high they are. This is how high mine are. Okay, and you can see it has some bounce in there. That's okay. Knees can drop. All right. Knees can drop. And to do that is, you know, you have to work on your abductors, your psoas, your flexors, and do some stretches a little bit higher up. Doing bar stretches will be great, but I'll show you some other stretches that'll be really great in later on in this video. But right now we need to rest. So we're gonna go from exerting in our QiGong and our body movements to get our legs, and now we're gonna rest them for a moment. So now we're gonna rest them in this position, and we're gonna put our arms right here and add a little weight, you know, and just bounce. Just a light little bounce. What we're doing is we're testing if there's any pain in our hips, you know, and then straighten that back up. Do not curve, straighten that back up. Breathing. And then we want to forward fold, our head goes with it. Now with our forward fold, I got my arms in here. Now I can massage with my elbows here into that. So I want to basically forward fold. You notice my knees are now dropping. Now we're going as far as we can. Now you say, how can I ever go into a position and my knees are way up here? Well, that's because you're holding them there yourself. Just breathe and forward into it a little bit, forward into it. We gotta make sure this part of our body is going that way. You know, you're not just going like that. Do not bend, do not squish, do not bend. We are forward folding still at the hips. All right, so balance, stability, make sure they're loose. And we're gonna do a forward fold. Now, there is no such thing as, you know, what comes first, what comes second. You do what feels best for you. And I'm doing what feels best for me and what will feel best for multiple people in a sequence. Please watch my videos on my YouTube channel, video number 1, which is QiGong Body Movement Day 1. I literally go through all this for an hour and a half. And then I didn't complete that, so I did a day 2, which is a continuance of day 1, going over a few things and then doing multiple new things. And then I realized that I didn't do enough breath work. So in day 3 class on my YouTube channel, I went ahead and added breath work. Don't ask, and day 4 is basically a continuation of all 1, 2, and 3. Day 5 is all lower body. If you have ankle issues, knee issues, or hip issues, and toe and feet and everything in between there, watch day 5, and that right there is a lot of sitting positions, a lot of sitting movements and stretches that will really be help out as well. And day 6 is upper body. Now I will be doing a day 7, which will be mid body work, which I will get into that. I'm actually thinking of many different things that'll help out into the hips, everyone who has hip issues. Now I'm gonna go 4-fold, and remember, we're just holding it, you know, to get into a stretch. You know, we didn't move out of that. We're just basically keeping our arms air for stability, all right? And what that does is it allows us to go further. You notice that my knees are going down a bit more. It's because I'm relaxing them. I'm not forcing them too much, just enough to give it a good, you know, body weight. Now I'm 4-folding here at the hips, not at the back, all right? I'm just letting the back give it gravity, give it weight. That's all you have to do, and just all that. So I'm also using my hands to put right here on the tibials, and I'm right above the ankles, and I'm using my hands to move my body this way by keeping my hips glued to where they are sitting. Breathe in and forward. Make sure when you're doing this, your neck and your head is loosey at all times. All right, traps are loosey. You know, my traps are loosey while I'm pushing in there. I know it's difficult, but you got to learn how to control your muscles one at a time and do things with one muscle until it requires a second muscle. All right. Now I'm just basically allowing myself to open up my hips. And if you see here in this position, you know, I got my feet perpendicular with each other. My legs are pretty much 90 degrees. My shins and my calves are pretty much 90 degrees. I have an open area. I'm opening that up. Now I'm going to, and we're going to like do this one more stretch. Straightening your back, breathing in, and moving forward. Breathing and staying forward, relaxing as you stay forward. Relax more as you stay forward. Don't just do that. You got to keep adjusting, keep moving forward. This will open up those flexors. This will open up your pelvic bone. This will open up your hip bone. Yeah, we're going to get into that song, right? And straighten, bend your back up, and release. Let's go ahead and move one leg up and leave this one down. All right, now we're gonna just wrap this arm to the side, and just let it hang. This is a comfortable position to be in, you know, right? Now we're gonna make sure we're straightened, make sure our hips and our glutes are even on left and right. Usually when people do that, they're like, you know, we're not hitting on good. But that's not how you sit. You know how I'm sitting like this? And then I open up, sit. That's going to cause sciatic pain in the future. What you have to do is sit on your thigh. I just got myself off my glutes. I'm now off my glutes. So if you have sciatic pain, you shouldn't be on your glutes. You should be on your thigh. You know what I'm saying? I'm on this muscle right here. I'm now sitting. That is where you'll keep your glutes from ever hurting. Now I'm gonna go onto my glute. That is gonna cause sciatic pain because now I'm pinching and pushing my glute into a hard ground. This is not the proper spot. This is the proper spot without twisting. Just make sure you hold on to yourself really well. If you ever need to, here, I'll show you on this side. I'm gonna come down and see how I just got off my glutes, and I'm gonna come forward and hold myself. Now, I'm just gonna sit here, and I can be here forever and never hurt my sciatics because I'm not on my glutes at all. I am on my T-band. I am on my, pretty much, you know, right here. It's all flat. Just the leg itself. I'm just on the leg itself, the femur. All right, I just got off the glutes. So if you have sciatic pain, get off your glutes. And straighten. Come down here. We're gonna go back to where we were. And if you moved, you could have tested yourself on that too. Now we're gonna have this up at 90 degrees. We're just doing our process, okay? I just wanna make sure I got that tidbit of information. And we're gonna come here, I'm gonna straighten up. I'm gonna get off my glutes, and I'm gonna put my hand on my knee. I'm gonna put this right here, you know, this part of my arm, my forearm, and I'm gonna put it not on my knee, below my knee. Right here are your connective tissues, right there. You will not believe how much people never get this massaged at all. And this is how you do it. You make sure your feet are together still, and you're just basically on your thigh bone, on your femur, and you're letting that knee drop. Now I'm gonna put, this right here is for stability. Now I'm gonna put my arm in there, and I'm gonna push. We're gonna do a little bit of therapy. And the reason for this is because we're going to get our knees to drop. Now, what I'm doing here is after I put my arm here, I am going nice and slow over that muscle. This is a lot of movement. Don't do this much movement, it's just giving you a visual. So I'm gonna put it here, keep my hand loose, and I'm gonna go up a little bit and down a little bit. Put that body weight into it. Now you're learning some therapy. This is what I do when I need to work out my muscles. This is actually hitting the side wall of the quad. This part right here that causes knee pain on the left inner area of the anteriors. And over here you'll have this T-band cause that. That's a whole harder part to get through. But if you need, the internal area is a lot easier to get through for each and every one of us. So I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna walk my way down an inch and hit a new spot. And I'm gonna roll my forearm down and then back up. Oh, that, I can feel that knot. I just, you know, we're here to do therapy, right? I just got my arm right on there. Now, the reason why we're doing this right now, because I felt this, and it's causing me knee issues. And so we have to basically, you know, as we age, we're gonna get knee issues. And knee issues is caused by too much pulling, too much. And how do we, you know, how do we get ourselves out of that predicament? Well, self-therapy. And I'm gonna release, I'm gonna come down a little bit. Now I'm gonna go right down to here now. We're not gonna, you gotta realize this takes 30 minutes. We're not gonna do this for 30 minutes. We're just gonna do a few passings. Just go up and down a little bit. You know, you got your legs sturdy on the ground. You are stabilized. You are on your femur. You are not on your glutes. And I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna take that elbow, and I'm gonna go further into that adductor. And I'm gonna go further into that adductor. And breathe. Have you been breathing? I didn't tell you to stop breathing. I only tell people to stop breathing when we're about to go underwater. Now we can do some arm movements. Let's do a couple of rolls. Let's do this. Couple of massage techniques. Like I said, we're just going to do this a few times. And what this is going to do is it's going to release this inside muscle so you can do the next stretch that we're going to get into. That's right. This is basically a warm-up. We are basically massaging that internal muscle area that causes us the inability to get our knee down. Now, we were able to work into that, but to work in this, a whole other thing to get a little closer. So I'm gonna raise that knee up, kind of like that, and bring the other one down, and then lean onto that femur just like that. And now I'm gonna get into this side. All right, like I said, we're not gonna spend forever in it, but if you feel like you need to, you can always do more of this later because you're like feeling like this is actually getting something. So you want to make sure you want to, you know, work at it a little bit longer, do it later. And especially if you know I could never do, you know, get my legs down, get my knees down in those positions in yoga. And I'm like, it's because you need to stretch. And yoga, I have to say it, don't stretch those good enough, ever. You know how I know? I've been to many yoga classes. I've been through many private yoga teachers, and you know, and the thing is though, they do not cover muscle work. They just cover stretch. That is it, nothing else. Just stretch. Stretch and movement. You would think that yoga is actually a form of QiGong, really. You wouldn't think, because QiGong came long before yoga. Here we go ahead and center. Now that we worked it out, we did some movements. Let's go test our knees out. I'm gonna come in here for a fold and release. Now they feel like they're not struggling to stay here, all right? If you need more time, do it at a later time and spend 30 minutes doing that because your knees are gonna go down. It's not gonna feel like it's pulling so much here at the and all of that right there, so you'll be able to get your knees down. Now let's go ahead and get knees up, straighten out, and stretch up, piece up. Make sure our back is straight. If you're here, that's fine. Just make sure your back is straight and forward. Back and forward. Back and forward. Keeping my knees, I'm keeping my hands here for stability. You know, if I didn't have it there, my knees will probably pop up. See what I mean? Make sure you're breathing. I'm using my upper body to pull on the quads, to pull the tendons from the knee. And breathe in, rise up to namaste. Rise namaste up to the sky. Forward fold. It helps create more weight. Keeping those shoulder blades back and your head is restful. Make sure you're not stiffening that head and neck and shoulders in traps. Most people do that in their everyday lives and it's unnecessary, completely unnecessary. Rise up and straighten. All right, bend both knees, bend both knees, bend both knees. Come up to here and we're gonna stay here, good. It's all about giving rest between each next therapy. Lower one down, all right, there we go. And move forward and back, forward and back, stabilizing, stabilizing. Make sure you're not feeling like you're overexerted because you'll be like shake, shake, shake every time you move forward into that stretch. We're just doing one at a time. Raise the knee, make sure you're breathing. Forward and back. Let's do some ankle movement while we're here. All right, good. If you need to have your leg more, you know, just gotta make sure this is nice and flat. This is 90 degrees. And then forward and back. It's all about those little muscle movements to release the sciatic nerve, to release the tensions internally. Good. Let's go into a rest and let's go into a meditation. This is where you can go ahead and straighten your body, breathe in, breathe out. Make sure you are propped just right. Get the kinks out. We're going to go into a rest. This is where you want to think about your goals of your body. Nothing else, just body goals. Let's put in our mind and in our thoughts the feelings and the amazing feelings, let's just say the amazing feelings, that you are going to feel so much better. The goal is to feel so much better after this outcome, after these stretches, after this QiGong class. Make sure you're relaxing, always focusing on your body, always focusing on your mental body. Making sure you are relaxed, making sure your spine is where it's supposed to be, your head is where it's supposed to be, your arms are where you're supposed to be, making fine attunements, making fine adjustments, attunements. Take a breath in. Release. Breath in. Good. Let's wake from that meditation real quick. Only short burst meditations are perfect. Let's take some hydration before we move on to our next stretching. Let's go ahead and work on our adductors. So let's go ahead and basically move to the side of our mat, basically facing the other way. I'm going to get onto my knee here. I'm going to stretch one leg out. I'm going to make sure this is 90 degrees. Don't pull this in too far. Don't bring it up to here. Bring this 90 degrees with your body so that way you can straighten up. Use your hand to do that. And then make sure you're on your thigh bone, not your glute. All right, straighten this guy out. So where you're here, this provides an ample amount of space in between, and you're holding yourself up. And just let this stretch naturally. And meditate in your natural position of a stretch. Point your toes up. Point your toes out. When you point your toes out, your heels are and stay on the same place, and what that does is it helps extra pull. Breathing. Toes up, release from the pull. Then just do a relax, just relax. Remember this, if you need your hand here on your knee to stay balanced, do that. Because we want to keep this gut leg nice and relaxed. If you don't hold on to it, you're going to probably struggle more to stay upright. If you need to, make sure you're where you need to be to where you're getting this light, just a light stretch right here. Light stretch, light stretch. We're just basically allowing our leg to be in that position. You can tell that it's off the ground because of where we are on our other leg, off our glute, on our thigh bone, our femur. Make sure your palm is on, if you can, that knee, other knee, so that way it has stability and it's not feeling like it's trying to go up in the air. Breathing and relaxing in. It's okay to have your eyes closed at this moment because we're not moving. We're not really moving. I want you to take that feet, that foot, and enter upwards into the sky, and then turn it. Oh, you can't see my foot. My bad. I'm in video now, right? My foot's up, my foot's down. That's what I was doing. Make sure this is 90 degrees. This is at a good place where it's relaxing, where you can stay on your femur really good. Staying off that glute, make sure you make your adjustments to stay off the glute, beyond the femur. Stretching that left or right leg, depending on which one you're doing. You might be mirroring me. You might be doing the left one like me. Your choice really to do the one that's hurting the most behind there. All right, back to our glutes. Back to our glutes to readjust. Good. You notice this is going to go up a bit. Don't worry about it. Now we're going to come in and bring that heel to knee. All right, I'm going to bring that arch to connect into your knee. By doing that, this becomes close to where it needs to be. And I want to basically face that way, not this way. This way. Now I'm going to keep my hand braced here and this other hand here, and we're going to keep my back straight. And I'm going to breathe in and forward, fold. I'm not bending my back, it's unnecessary. And I'm going to use this hand to brace. I'm reaching out, it's nice and easy, and releasing. You know, this is now relaxed. I'm just using my fingers to hold, only the fingers, not the forearm, not the biceps or traps. Breathe in. And use your hand here, use your arm here for balancing and stability, and reach further to your ankle with your palm. Grip in with your fingers only, not your fingertips. Only my fingertips are working. That way you don't lose your place. It's just to keep you there. You're not trying to pull yourself further. You already got there with the forward fold. If you can go further, that's great. I'm here for everyone who can't. And those who can, keep going further. You're going to get there, you're going to get further each time. You're still opening things, you're still moving things. Let's go ahead and breathe in and release your fingers to release your body to come back up into a perfect posture. Good. Now let's go ahead and readjust. Aim your glute to the other side of the mat. Bring both. Bring your feet in. And forward fold. And forward fold. Everything we're going to do here is going to get you to touch those toes if you never touched them before. Or you struggle. Do you struggle? Well, just by doing all of this for a good hour, you won't have to struggle. Just do this and then test. You can test beforehand to see where you are. Then you can test after you do this QiGong class with the leg stretches that we're doing today. And I'll guarantee you, you're going to become 4 to 8 inches closer to your feet. Now I got my elbows in to my knees and I'm like pushing, and they're like going into there to do the full extraction. I'm leaning forward and my body is just doing this number into there. And my legs are relaxed. All of these are relaxed. All of these are relaxed. It's just my upper body forward folding into it. Breathing. Release. Forward folding back up. Straighten bring that knee up first. Do not just straighten. Do not do that. Bring that knee up first. Straighten that back down. And then pull that leg out right to here. We're not touching yet, but if you realize that's pretty much how it goes. All right. And I'm going to make sure I got my foot in the video. All right. Now we're going to get back onto the femur. We're raising this glute off. You can see exactly what I'm doing. You notice I'm going from here to here. Now I did a little massage on that glute to, glute to the thigh. And we're going to just basically keep our hand here. All right, for stability. I'm going to try and raise ourselves up. Try to straighten yourself up. Put that here. Straighten here. We don't want to be here, really. Straighten. Now there we go. Now we're just letting that go. All right, we're on our femur. We got to make sure we're balancing here on our femur. All right, we're basically off the glute. We're not on the sciatics at all. We're just letting this leg drop. And now we're just going to put my hand here for stability and to keep that from going up. Try not to let your head go down and think about stupid things or things, Keep that head up, keep that body up, keep that body up. Keep that back straight or properly in its posture that it needs to be in. Just letting this go. See, this doesn't feel as tight as my left did. Just a few moments. Breathing. Good. Let's go ahead and go back down to the glute. Bring that leg, that arch into the curve of your side of your knee. Make sure you're straight. Make sure your arms are like this. One going this way, one going this way. It's how you determine it. And then go forward fold. Breathing in and forward fold. Remember not to forward fold towards the leg. That's the incorrect pattern that everyone's been doing this whole time. We forward fold that way. Because we have this leg here, we have that leg here. We are basically now straight with everything, and we forward fold here. Twisting and forward folding this way causes strain. And we're not going to do that just yet. We have to first do this one. Now, remember, I'm not here, I'm here. But if you have to, take your arm, outstretch it, put it here, grip in, and relax all of that. That's going to help you stay there and keep your arm here, other arm on the leg to keep that from going up, and keep that leg, whole left leg relaxed the whole time. Relaxing, 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 relaxing. Relaxing, 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 relaxing. Keeping that, don't do this. Keep that chin in. Do not let your chin or head go down. Keep it upright. Keep your back upright, forward folding, and feel the tendons pull. Forward, point towards the direction that you wish to point, right? Which is only one way, which is that way. Feet up. Oh, wait, make sure you keep your heel in the pad, and then feet up. What that does is it pushes that femur this way, pushes it the whole hip that way. Then you go that way, it moves the hip that way, and then when you do this, you can see that little movement that I'm doing here. We want that to happen. While I need to get back into my stretch first, now I'm doing it. Man, if you ever leave your stretch, breathe, get back into the proper stretch, and start all over. Because if you're not doing it right, you're not going to get the outcome that you need. You're just being half-hearted, you're doing things half-heartedly, and you're not doing anything to really recuperate from your aches, your pains, your strain, your stress. This reduces strain, reduces stress, reduces all of that stuff, flows the fluids, opens and stretches nerves. Release, straightening up, make sure you're breathing. Let's go ahead and center on the mat, nice and easy. And let that leg come out. Now, I feel like I'm more straight now, and I'm not forcing myself that way as much. And that's the progress that we're going to be seeking out of there, okay? All right, so now we got our feet. We're going to do both at the same time, forward, pointing and up, pointing and up. It'd be pretty hard to, move. Just let it happen. Let the whole thing happen. I can feel that. If you can't feel it, don't worry, I can. Not everyone can feel everything. It's like, there's nothing wrong there. Hey, that's great, but it's all part of everything. Everything correlates, everything. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, and make comments and mentions and stuff like that. Be courteous, be wonderful, be pleasing, that kind of stuff in your words and that kind of stuff. I'm here to help you, and that way you can help yourselves to become a better person, better body, in a better body. You have a better body in your good person, whatever. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and feet out. We're gonna open and close. We're gonna do some windshield wipers while we gotta make sure we're breathing and we're upright. Make sure we didn't fall out of place. Maybe we all have to go back into proper position. I need to stabilize and stabilize out. Stabilize and just don't let it happen. My toes are touching, toes are breathing, toes are touching. Don't have to go too far in. Nice, good. That's how your feet should look. That's how your feet should look. If you create a triangle and my toes right there are touching, you create your triangle, and from your fingertips or your toe tips, and my thumb is touching, my fingertips touching, and if your ankles are just right and you got your triangle, that's exactly what you need to have, is that right there at your feet. That way it opens all this up and moves, 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 all right? And that's what you want. Everything I'm doing is giving you the way to teach your body to be in proper geometry, because our bodies developed and evolved into geometry. Yes, they have. Remember, 90-degree angle, 45-degree angle, 125, I think that's 145. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? 180, 360. We are perfectly harmonious with the nature of our cosmos, and we forgot how to be harmonious with the nature of our cosmos through body movement. All right, good, good. And then release, open the hips. Now, you notice I just stayed there for make sure you get back into your posture and all that, and you're doing things, stabilizing your core. Good, release. Bend those knees up a little bit, bend those knees up a little bit, and hold right here to let blood flow proper before we move and before we get to the next possible situation. Don't just move. Make sure if you feel like your muscles are vibrating or you're losing blood flow and your legs went to sleep, that's okay. Yeah, you'll get used to this. Take your fist, go down and rise. We're gonna come into this position since we are here, and we are going to rise. Lower, touch the glute to the ground, coming straight. You know, I said just touch it, I didn't say get on the ground. And then rise again. And we're basically just coming back down and coming back up. Coming back down. Make sure our back is properly straight. And lower. Good. And hands, palms down. Hands, palms down. You know, first I did it on knuckles with loose palms. I didn't have a clenched fist. I had my hands just like this and, onto the knuckles, completely stacking joints. Right, now I'm gonna put my palms behind me, and lean back and just kind of like allow that to stretch the hand joints. This is a good way to stretch it. And breathe. Just make sure your back is, proper. Make sure your shoulders and your neck is not, and your head is not stiff. Everything is loose. I'm just doing a nice stretch. And now I'm gonna bend my elbows, bend my elbows, bend my elbows. Don't go too far back, and rise. Get on your fingertips and down. I hope you guys can see me a little bit. I'm gonna come here. Watch my right hand, my left is doing the same. All right, we're gonna straighten. And we're gonna bend that elbow, bend that elbow, bend that elbow, bend that elbow. Breathe and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. What we're doing here is wrist work. Yes, this is all wrist work with other movements. It also helps out triceps, for shoulder rollings, shoulder issues, because it's basically allowing things, but it's mostly wrist work. And now I'm going to come forward, stay on your fingers. Now you can see here my fingers are barely bending on my right, but it's bending more on my left. This right here allows you to basically stretch them while in basically putting body weight against it as well behind you. And what we're trying to do is open those wrists up. And movement. And then fingers up, bend, 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 fingers up, bend, bend, bend. Why not? This is a good place to do it. We're using our entire body weight into our fingers. Makes it easy. And then bend those and go like this. Relax, bring your arms up, Come back in position and let's rest in a meditation. And let's meditate before we move on to our next body movement. Make sure you stabilize. You make sure you breathe. You're in your good posture. Close your eyes. If you are outside like I am, listen to nature. And breathe. Now let's breathe in, breathe out, breathe deep. If you cannot hear your breath, you are not breathing. If you cannot hear the white noise of your breath going in and out of your nose, you're not breathing. This breath will help clarify your mind. Reduce stress and anxiety. Veer your mind and thoughts away from thoughts of your mind. Deep breath in. Good. Straightening. Make sure you were straight. Make sure you relax straight. There we go. That's wonderful. Let's go ahead and do some upper body twists while we're here before we go. So we're going to raise our arms up right to here where our elbows are bent. Our arms are bent. They're not here. They're not here. They're not there. They are equal and balanced. Now we're going to turn our torso. Turn our torso and turn our head to the rear. Make sure your legs are relaxed. Make sure your legs are relaxed. People will strain them up by staying up. If you have to, fold a little bit more forward and then bend that back like a bow, like a banana. And then turn your torso. And then keep your torso turned, but only turn your head forward until your head is turning towards the other arm. Then turn your head back to the back and twist more. If you have to, lower one arm down and put your arm right here on your knee and keep this arm up and twist further, but make sure your legs are relaxed. Don't let them stiffen or shake or become immobile. They are relaxed there. All right, now I'm going to turn my head back to the other front, and then I'm going to turn my head back to the rear and release this arm, turning my head forward, centering my head to my body. Relax, breathe. Get that breath, release that exhaustion. Breathe in, arms up as you breath in, breathe out. Now, if you've seen my videos, the rule is to breathe before you move, breathe as you move, breathe and breathe. So breathe in, And turn your torso and breathing out. Turning your head all the way to the rear. Making sure your legs are relaxed. Don't let them stiffen up doing this. Turning and pushing your body forward a bit. That will help keeping your legs from rising. Turn your head forward. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed the whole time while your arms are up. I know, right? Difficultness level 10. Breathing while your head is forward. Breathe. Turn your head to the rear. Keeping your arms slack. Keeping your shoulders down. Keeping your head relaxed while your head is reared. Now breathe and turn your head forward. Turn your head rear. And lower, and turning and torsoing back to center. Good. Nice little good twist there. And relax. Get your energy back up. Good. Short fold rolls, short fold rolls. Good. Relaxing, good. Relaxing. Let's bring our hands up into Namaste. And forward, forward, forward. Not too much. Nice, good bend. Bring your arm, give your namaste up to your cranial. Put your bridge of your thumbs and the thickness of your palms. Make sure that these are leveled in the degree. And then forward fold, forward fold, forward fold until your knees touch the ground. I know I got a little bend there, but that's okay. We are opening things up. Let the arms fall and the hands fall and reach out. This is the process to get to there. You're like, why haven't we done this yet? Because there's a process. Now bring those elbows in. Let it touch your shins. Bring that. You can see how this is. And let your elbows touch the ground, kind of touch your shins, touch the ground, but you're holding yourself up. You're not putting your weight of your body into the ground. You're just touching, but relaxing. You're just there. You're not holding. You're just there. You're just relaxed. Hands down to the mat. Stretch out, stretch out, stretch out. Don't let your head drop. Do not let your head drop. You keep it here. Bring your elbows back into your shins. Bring it back into Namaste, back into your third eye. Rise with a forward fold. Remember, you're straightening, straightening. Remember how I'm rising? I'm not going backwards yet. I'm rising. I'm using my arms and my arms. I'm going back into posture. Now I'm rising back up. Get my arms down to Namaste, to the sternum. And then back down into heart. There we go. From heart to knees. There we go. Breathe. A lot of this can be exerting. It depends on your, on how tough you are, how tense you are, how much body weight you have, how much, it depends on what you got, it depends on what you're doing, and if it's how you've been feeling for all your life. Have you done any of this before? Have you stretched? Have you mobilized? Have you done any kind of movement, breath work and movement? Is it just always been yoga and you haven't really done anything else? Have you tried a QiGong class? You can go to a regular basic QiGong class, go into your meditation and breathe as I chat through this. Go into your regular QiGong class near you or online that teaches you the basics of QiGong, basically facing you towards to the planetary compass of the alignment of the earth and doing movement and movement and movements, just doing movements. That is the basic. That is the basic of all QiGong, and you need to learn that. I do not teach the basics of QiGong. I teach the advancement of what you need to do for your body to heal further than QiGong can possibly give. QiGong's great. Love QiGong. Do QiGong in its basics form. Learn it, but I'm not going to teach it. There are other teachers for that. I'm here to teach you the things that will that'll help reduce runner knee pain, that'll help reduce spinal pain, help reduce cervical pain through this intense type of QiGong. It really is. This is very advanced. This is very good. You're doing well. I appreciate you being here and going through this entire class together. QiGong is not a 10-minute solution, not a 15-second real solution, not a 3-minute real solution. It's just not. And you're not going to get there that way. You have to focus on yourself for hours of a day. And if you're just sitting there watching in your couch TV, you could be doing QiGong off the couch, on a mat, while your TV's blaring. It doesn't really matter, or you're watching your manhwa and you're stretching. You're watching your anime and you're stretching. Why are you sitting there just being? Why be when you could be more? You can do more, you can feel more, you can get yourself out of predicaments at that time. And it's like, I do not have time to do anything. Yes, you do. You chose not to give it time. You did. We must give this time. That's why we're here today. I've been wanting to go live for a long time, and I'm still working out the kinks of that. I appreciate you guys being here. Please subscribe. Please go to my LinkedIn and donate if this is helping you in any way. This is basic of my advanced techniques. We're just going through just light stuff. If you want to get through an entire immense amount of QiGong and body movement classes that I have, please go to my YouTube page and click on QiGong Day 1 and start there. It is thorough. It goes through a lot, and you're going to be happy when you complete the 6-day program. Soon 7-day. Focusing on everything that you need to do to feel better. And by doing any of this, you're going to feel less need of people giving you therapy. And I mean, not just manual therapy like massage therapy, chiro, or PT, or anything like that. Just by doing all of these, you are going to need less therapy because you're going to feel great because you're doing it for yourself. You're learning self-therapy. You're learning to do things on your own. And you're not getting a little piece of paper that tells you to do these basic moves. Like I said, QiGong, the original QiGong is very basic. It's very good. It's very wonderful. Just like, when you go to PT, they give you these little exercises you must do at home. But that's not good enough. You have to exert. You have to push yourself to the limits of this easily, cautiously, soothingly, with serenity, and with passion, and with exuberance, and with your all might to get better. And that's what I'll be guiding you guys to do. Let's open our eyes with our breath in, and let's get out of our meditation. Let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and stand up. And how do we do that? From a sitting position, we get both legs, one leg up, turn to your right and put one hand down, and we're going to lift that hip up, and we're going to bring that other leg down, and we're going to slap it down. And you see I'm now back into a crouch. That's so easy. Look how I'm like right here, and then I'm going to come up, and we are in our standing position. Yes, thank you. It's that simple. No struggle, right? Hopefully, right? Let's go ahead and hydrate first. Make sure you grab your water before we move on to the next thing. All right. All right. We're going to spread our legs apart. Make sure you get in there. I'm always taking my time. Make sure you always take your time and all that kind of stuff. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is have this leg go to the right, like that. And I'm going to tilt to the right, and we're going to do a forward fold because I need to stretch my hammies some more. All right, we're going to get back to standing stretches. Remember, if you've been with me already, you know how to breathe and forward fold into it. If you're just now tuning up, make sure you breathe in 4 seconds, out 4 seconds, and forward fold. Now, my right shoulder is heading towards my foot. I am trying to stay perpendicular. I am not doing this, nice tilt there. I basically am going to start there. I'm going to like start here. I'm going to twist right here. You see my hands on my chest, and my hands on my belly. It helps you learn to basically focus on yourself. Then I'm going to basically put my hands here on above the iliacal crests. And I'm going to use this as a medium where I need to fold like a piece of paper. And remember, as we fold our piece of paper, our balls of our feet needs to be planted next to our heels, need to be planted equally between the two, and I am pushing directly into the ground. My left foot is basically balls of the feet, and the heels are balanced towards each other, and they are equally between each legs. They are pressing into the ground, and my toes are relaxed. See, I can wobble them. So I'm going to basically have my shoulder aim towards my foot as I forward fold. I'm not going to go and aim the sternum towards my foot and forward fold, because that is way too far. All right, humans were not meant to do that. If you're going that far, that means you're extra limber, good for you. But not many of us are. That's only a few percentage of people, you know. And we have been stretching since we were 50 years old, not 10 like some people. You know what I'm saying? So just go ahead and go down. Get out of there, get out of there. There you go, appreciate it. Slung. Breathe and just let the back of your leg stretch, forward fold. Now we're gonna bend that knee a little bit. Remember, hold on, don't bend your knee yet. Rise a little bit. Reduce the strain and stress of that stretch. Keep your hand on your shin right here. All right, it's just there for stability. My arm is riding up above my knee. It's just above, it's not really all the way on the leg, it's just there, all right? The next hand needs to go above the knee. So like a nice little curve right here in your palm. I'm gonna put it above the knee, okay? So I'm in my stretch. I'm gonna release from that stretch. My arm is now straight. I'm gonna bend that knee to where my shin is straight to parallel with the ground, and perpendicular, and I'm going to go further down into it. My shoulder is, my back is aiming towards the knee, towards the foot, and then I'm going to straighten. I'm going to rise, bend the knee, lower down, breathing, and straighten. Make sure you make your adjustments. All right, if you have to angle your foot a little bit more, make sure you make your adjustments. That way it feels like you are not overly exerting or causing any type of pain, okay? Release up, release up, release up, release up. Foot in and other direction, good. Make sure you're straight and you're breathing proper. Come down. I'm going to bring my arms down with my legs. Adjustments on the way down. Stretching. And yes, we did a bit of this earlier, but we were also in a different position before, and we had our legs not so spread up so far. There we go. And there we go. Make sure you always find your position. Make sure you find your, comfort. Don't overexert. Rise with the breath. Bend that knee. Straighten that leg and forward fold into it. And forward fold into it. And then straighten. Rise, bend that knee, further again, falling again, hold, and straighten. So remember, keeping my hand on my knee, above the knee, not on the patella. Stay off of the patella. I'm on the side mainly because this is where the stability needs to be. I have my thumb above the knee. My fingers are on the side of the leg. And this right here is right there. So it basically helps with stability. We're going to straighten again and down. And what this does, it allows you to pull those muscles easily.
unlike trying to come in here, stay where you are, keep stretching, you know, most people are going, oh yeah, doing this number and these bounces, you know, and they're trying to go, oh, and go down and up and down and up, you know, that causes problems. By going slow and doing all this, so I want to show you something here. So you're gonna say, and you're gonna forward fold, nice and easy, forward fold, nice and easy, and now I'm touching my hands almost towards the mat. All right, I tested myself out this morning, and this is how far I got. This is how far I was getting with a curved back. Now I'm gonna straighten my back, and I'm gonna go further down and touch. All right, so this is going to allow your muscles to easily extend through this process of QiGong without ripping, without overextending, without forcing it there. We want to ease it all there and feel great about ourselves. Go ahead and get out of that, or fold up and breathe. Good. Let me see exactly what time it is. I appreciate many of you coming in and all that right there. Thank you for the likes. I have no idea what time it is. Oh, 1 hour and 51 minutes. That's great. I like that. Almost 2 hours of this. I appreciate those who hang tight and everything like that. Let's see, what should we do next? We focused on legs, we focused on twisting the neck and working mobility of the neck. We did the spine and we did the legs. Let's go ahead and do some arms. Let's do some arms in the last bit of this. We'll be cutting off here in about 8 minutes. So we're gonna do fingers and hands and wrists and arms. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put, I wanna get a little closer to you guys. We're gonna put one finger above the palm and the rest below it. Our arm is 90 degrees and we are going to hold out and we're just going to like let this down right here. All right, and then extend the arm. Nice, good pull, release, extend the arm. Release, extend the arm. Release, extend the arm. Release, 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 turn. Now what I mean by turn to where your thumb and you're like this, but relaxed. All right, and then we're gonna take our thumbs, we're gonna take our fingers here, we're gonna hold that there, right? And then we're going to extend. Now I'm holding this whole arm up with these two fingers. And my whole body is like this, and it's just nice and relaxed. I mean, I'm really just relaxing. I'm just holding this entire up with just fingers. What we're doing is we're stretching that thumb. Release with, and how to release? I bend that elbow. I bend that elbow to release. That's how you release. You don't release here. You release at the elbow while still connected to that thumb. Now we're going to go into connect to that finger. And we're going to bend that finger back and then straighten that arm and let that arm drop. But our finger is holding into these fingers to stay in the air. And you notice my arm is up here, not here. Here. All right, good. Releasing, let that go. Let's go ahead and rotate that finger. We're doing some fan work. Oh my gosh, we need to do these. And bend that finger back first, and then keep that wrist straight. Do not let that, you can do that. Keep that wrist straight. And then boom, let that go. Now I'm gonna see here, I'm gonna let those two fingers, these guys right here, drop. Release. Drop. Release. Release. Grab the next one. Bend. Straighten and let that whole thing get that. And then release that straight. Fingers down. Up. Fingers down. I know, right? Up. That's how you get better control of your fingers and gripping. Releasing. Pinky. Be careful with the pinky. Pinkies are always more fragile. You know what I'm saying? Nice and easy. Release. Good. Now, we'll do this again. There we go. Releasing. Good. 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 already held it for a moment, and now we're doing it. Now let's go to the other hand. Great. Remember to go ahead and put one finger above the knuckles, the rest go below. It's all bent, it's all bent. And now I'm going to straighten. Make sure your body is good and your posture is great and you are breathing still. Release. Now the other way. And then turn your palm up again and then stretch. Oh, this is getting the forearm really well. Make sure your shoulder blades are back a little bit, but rest backed. Pretty much a rest back. Yeah. Release, release, pull, and straighten. We're gonna do that again. I felt a lot of that in my flexors there, my digitatorium. Now remember, we're gonna release that elbow again. Make sure we're relaxed, breathing. We're gonna grab that thumb. Remember, just 2 fingers is all it takes, and we just wanna grip it. So now I'm holding up my entire hand with that, and then I'm gonna pull. See, I'm holding this here, and I'm putting my arm into that, my thumb into those fingers, and I'm keeping my wrists straight. Do not bend, do not bend. Keep it straight, all right? And just let your arm drop with your fingers holding onto that thumb. You don't have to pull too much, but pull just enough. Don't overexert, don't overpull. You need to get used to this first. All this stuff is going to be exerting for you at the first time doing it, but after a few sessions and classes of this, you'll be good and good about that. Oh, my arm was not up high enough. Remember that, don't let it drag down. It's all about holding, planking, posturing, movement, all that stuff. Oh, so you gotta release it and then get back into the whole thing. It releases the whole muscles, relaxes the whole muscles in the entire arm, to then go ahead and go back into that pull. And then I'm gonna go like that. Then I'm gonna straighten and move my fingers in. Nice and easy, nice and out, nice and easy. Now, don't strain them in, don't strain them out. Just, you're gonna feel the movements of these muscles going at it. And that's gonna help you have much more limber fingers, much more limber movements, and when you're gripping and doing things, you know, all that. Next finger, let's move on to the next one. Good, good. Great, releasing, and there we go. Nice, good, all that, great healing, good, be careful with that, all right. And flow, always flow on the next ones, because you already did your long stretches. And 3rd time's the charm, just do, shake it off. Now let's do some shaking, good. Let's do some shaking. Let's do some shaking, some original QiGong. And just let it all out. Get those kinks out of you, work it all out. Yeah, there we go. Make sure you're balancing between left and right and breathing. Good, thank you. We are done for today. I appreciate you guys joining me on this little adventure into my backyard and doing some QiGong and body work with me and sticking out along for this. I'll be doing this again, hopefully every week, so that way we can all do QiGong together and just zoom in and tune in and just do this, because you're going to feel so much better, and I'll already feel better myself. And if you see where I'm at right now, I'm going to get into that 4-fold. It doesn't feel struggly, and I'm able to get my hands down there without the struggle and stuff like that, and get much more movement in there. Yes, there's so much to do, but this is a great start. Thank you guys for showing up today and joining me on this. Namaste. Have a pleasant life. And enjoy everything that comes your way, okay? Be pleased, be pleasant, and be happy. So, let me see where the stop button is.